Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Connecticut at your service. My name is Carmen Nieves, and I am your host. And we come to you live each Tuesday to interview individuals that are not only serving our community, but making a difference with purpose by helping or doing something else for the community. As we do each week, we introduce you to individuals that are making a difference by providing information, education, and empowering our viewers to take it one step to the next level and do something for someone else. Today we have two amazing people that are with us today. It's Vincent Santilli, and he's the president and CEO of Homes for the Brave. Their contact information is here. And we have Mark Hershkovich, owner and barber of Hershey Cuts. We've given you their contact information on this slide. We've also put a Direct Line Media interview that lives on YouTube, referencing Vincent Santilli and all the amazing work that he's doing for Homes for the Brave. So let's get right into it, because I just think that you guys are just amazing. First, Vin, thank you so much for just always stepping forward, helping out. I remember when I was with the NRZ and we were doing a collection of something and you had donated gift cards or something. We have such an incredible long history of service together in our community. So Vincent, and I can't tell you, I'm so excited by this interview. Just wait till you hear. So Vince, tell me a little bit about you and just kind of how did you get into this work with Homes for the Brave?
Well, Carmen, and we're delighted to be here. Thanks so much for having us on. And, Homes for the Brave is a mission for me. And my whole career has been here in the Bridgeport area. The first 31 years of my career were in banking at People's United Bank. And I played a number of roles there, including the last 8 years running this Stop and Shop network of branches and becoming executive director of the Community Foundation and managing community relations across the 6 states that People's United had. And so service was something that bank in particular, People's Bank, the original bank that I joined in the mid-'80s, was all about. And so we served our communities, we served our customers, and we really relished that. In 2016, I then became the CEO of Homes for the Brave. And this really gave me an opportunity to serve our veterans. My dad was a combat veteran, U.S. Army, World War II, wasn't even born in this country, saw extensive combat in the Philippines and Japan. When he died early, when I was a teenager, and it was World Service connected based on things that occurred many, many years before while he served our country. I was all set to follow in his footsteps. I was nominated, appointed, I was recruited athletically to West Point. And then when I was 17 years old, they figured out that I didn't hear very well. And I can assure you, and my wife would assure you that I hear a lot worse now. But at any rate, then University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia became my plan B, which was a spectacular plan B. And I had a great experience there, and that launched my banking career. And so the opportunity to serve our veterans that are experiencing homelessness now for 8+ years is really giving me the opportunity to serve like I had intended to do many decades before.
That's amazing. And I know that in the work that you do, kind of the community stepping forward to help veterans, either giving resource, giving services, providing something that makes them feel special is actually how you became connected to Mark. So Mark, you're on, my friend. Tell me a little bit about you, and because neither of you directly served in the military, but you're so connected and you've had a long history with this organization. Tell me, how did it start? Tell me first a little bit about you, and then why Homes for the Brave? And you've been connected for many years at varying levels, so I think that's great.
Yeah, so I grew up in Shelton and then attended St. Joseph's, actually, I call him Mr. Santilli. I know it's Vince, and I'm good friends with Tom, his son. So we went to high school together, played sports and everything, and about my sophomore year, I started to mess around giving haircuts and whatnot, and ended up becoming my career. So throughout all that time, though, it's just something in the back of my mind. I always wanted to do the right thing or give back somehow, and I have family members that served and are currently serving. And I just always thought it was something that I needed to do. It was almost pulling me, and sure enough, this guy right here that is the best, he contacted me when I was in college. I went to University of Bridgeport. And
Me too.
Oh, you did? Nice.
Yes, go Knights.
And I finally got that opportunity where I know when people are trying to find something good to do for veterans or anything in life, sometimes it might be tough to find the right niche, you know, where you can't figure out what can I do. And luckily enough, he sent me a text one day and said, hey, would you be willing to come down and give the veterans haircuts at the Homes for the Brave? And it was perfect timing. I was going to school there, so I was able to go right after class. Went down. We used to do it in in the janitor's closet. It was the laundry room, but it was perfect though, because we set up our own little barbershop, and all the guys would come down and hang out, sit on top of the ledge in there, and we would just hang out for a couple hours, cut hair, and now it's turned into something great where the guys come down to the barbershop once a month. Moses brings them down, drives them down, and then I just block off basically my whole morning, and we have a good day. Usually get some coffees at the deli next door, and crank some music, and we have a great time. So
I love it. So Vince, I'm just going to turn it back over to you, because I think, first of all, to all our viewers out there and those who are veterans, thank you for your service to our community, for our nation, and for all the things that you do and all the resources that we owe you for being here. And thank you both for being here. I just want to put up the slide that has the services of Homes for the Brave, so that we can, if you could just share in case we have veterans out there that need services.
Well, absolutely. And Carmen, Homes for the Brave opened in 2002. It's just a remarkable organization. So I came on board in 2016. And, you know, we house men and women experiencing homelessness. Almost all of them are U.S. military veterans. We have a clinical program. 72% of the men and women we are serving are experiencing mental health issues. You know, addictions and PTSD, those are quite common in our facilities. And so our whole mission, though, is to get these men and women back on their feet and to get them permanently housed. We have a vocational program, because obviously unless you're generating an income, how can you then pay a rent and so forth? So our vocational program helps the men and women both obtain educational, so we have men and women that are really going through training. We have them at Housatonic Community College. We have some going to University of Bridgeport, which is right down the street.
Walking distance.
And, you know, and we've really developed these connections with University of Bridgeport in so many ways, by the way. I'm on the coaching staff there of the women's basketball team, so I'm now entering my sixth season. Our first practice was yesterday. So this is really something where we have the nurses come and work with our veterans on Thursday afternoons. And so there's so many just synergies between Homes for the Brave and the University of Bridgeport. And this is all designed to get our men and women back where they're mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially able to then get them to where they become permanently housed.
Oh, thank you. So we left it up there. We'll put up there's 2 phone numbers for Homes for the Brave. That can you give us the phone numbers? I know you have a regular number and a toll-free number, just in case someone needs help or knows a veteran.
It's 203-338-0669, and so that's from, you know, basically from anywhere. And, you know, help is that close. We have in 2022, Carmen, we opened up an annex in downtown Bridgeport. It's right across the street from Joseph's Steakhouse. So this is to serve veterans and their family members. So for the first time in our history, we're serving their family members as well. So we're seeing things there we never saw before. A middle-aged woman coming in and say, hey, my daddy's an 85-year-old Navy veteran and he needs hearing aids. Can you help him get that? And we then, you know, take on and we tackle those things. We have job prep workshops right in that annex. And so there's so many of them. We have a therapist there that will speak with veterans, that will work with even children of veterans. So there's so many services that we bring to bear And, we're proud to do so. These are men and women that have served all of us, that have kept our country safe, and now they're struggling a little bit.
Wow. And that's heavy, Mark. So let's see if you can keep up with the next one. So I wanted to bring up Mark's slide that has shown his history. And while we're getting that up, I want to get that up because it has like your logo on it, because I was trolling your Facebook page, right? And people were talking about, and it was specifically to one of the veterans that you had given a haircut to, that had made a quote and said, "I feel like I'm 10 feet taller." And it's not only about getting all these services, but if you don't feel good, you don't feel like you look good, some of that sometimes doesn't do that. So I wanted to bring up the slide because your logo is what? Your logo says what, Mark?
It's a palm tree, but the slogan on the bottom is "Changing lives one cut at a time."
I mean, and it's just mind-boggling. First of all, that reminded me of the movie with Tom Cruise with cocktails or something. I was like, the first thing that I thought was about that. So tell us a little bit about what's going on in the picture.
So top right's actually Tom, my friend I was mentioning earlier, who does, so every year we try to do a drive. So, and during around the holidays, Homes for the Brave has a needs list. So we usually go through it every year. So we'll do a drive together because Tom has his own business as well. So we'll try to get all of our clients or anybody that comes in that we're working with, and we'll have them donate canned goods or anything they need. And so the bottom right is actually the items that we had for 1 year. That was probably 2021. That's me and this handsome man right here. The second
Gee, I
one
wonder
right
who
there.
that is.
And then that second one's actually a funny one. That was when I was opening the shop in Shelton in 2020. I did a fundraiser. So basically, everybody donated money to Homes for the Brave, and was collected by me. And that whoever gave the most, I probably should have found a better way to do it. But whoever donated the most got to cut my hair. So I ended up, there's pictures of that I probably should have sent. Actually, thank God I didn't send it to you because they're not good. But they did an avatar type of design on my head, and I ended up going bald after that. But my hair's it's never grown back the same, but that was that photo right there. And then actually I was lucky enough on the bottom left to win Volunteer of the Year award at Homes for the Brave, which was a great honor. One of the best honors, honestly, I've ever had in my life. And I still have that plaque hanging right next to my station at the shop. And the rest of the pictures are just items in the shop. And of course my patches right there. We try to collect all the local patches. Anybody that comes in, we have them bring their police, fire, army, anything, Navy, anything they have, because I think it's a cool way of like playing sports my whole life. When you go to a game, you have an autograph from an athlete. I think that's their way of giving us their autograph. So every time they come in, they're able to see that, and they're like, you could tell their kids, hey, that's mine, or if anybody that's in there, that's my patch. It's a cool way to let them get the representation that they deserve, because they are the most important thing, I think, in this country is the veterans, because there's no way that we'd have the country we have if we didn't have them. So they definitely deserve.
I loved it. And I know, actually, I became introduced to you because Homes for the Brave had made a post that you were doing these haircuts and that you didn't charge the veterans. That same night, we were on the phone. It was like 9 o'clock at night. We're back and forth. I'm like, I want this guy on my show. And so, like I said, I was trying to get some information about you before you came. And I think one of the things that I would love for you to talk about is the Connecticut Post had done an article that you started your business around COVID.
Yeah.
And it talked about how you used to cut the hair of major league like baseball players, and that your family is part of the National League. Now my husband is watching, so please lay it on thick, because I want to make sure he's like, look who I met. Okay. So tell us a little bit about it. It's your dad and your uncle, right?
So my dad and my uncle used to be major league umpires, and then the coolest cut I probably ever got to do was at Yankee Stadium. My uncle was umpiring the game. And
which game?
I don't remember who they were playing. I know.
So I go back and talk to my husband. Like, I know something about baseball.
It's on my Facebook, so you can check. I don't know.
Okay, I'll troll it some more.
So he actually called a rain delay, and I think it's because I was probably late to the game because I was supposed to give him a haircut. So he called a rain delay and called me down into the locker room, and I was able to actually cut his hair during the rain delay. So he started the game without a haircut and then finished it with a haircut. So that was pretty cool in Yankee Stadium, which was awesome. And a couple of my buddies, my best friend Matt Batten, he's on the Padres, so I was able to cut his hair and a couple of buddies that he played with on the Padres when I went to go visit him. A couple of guys that are still playing now, and then another cool person I got to cut was Dan Orlowski, who's ESPN analyst, and he's from Shelton. Also a tremendous guy. He does a lot for the community. Yeah, but that's a lot of the big names. Yeah,
I love that.
It brings you a lot of cool places.
Listen, when I saw baseball, I was like, okay, I got to plug that in because I know my husband's watching. And he's just such a fan. He watches every single week. He wants to know who's going to be on the show. So today, he was like, who's going to be on the show today? I'm like, the guy from Homes for the Brave. And we were driving home because I live on Atlantic. And I was like, the guy from that building right there, the guy from that building right there. I mean, and it's just so incredible. And even the article in the Connecticut Post said that you cut celebrities. And when I see the patches, the football players, the baseball, the responders, and veterans, I see where you're going with the celebrity, why they said that. Because there's something about when you look amazing that you just feel like you can conquer the world. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's got to be a synergy with that. So with that being said, and I'm going to start this question, actually I'm going to start with you, Vin. So we know that money's important, right? Because organizations can't run and all that without that. But I would love to know, what are some of the ways that our community can get involved with veterans or provide a service just like Mark or something that, listen, I think what I was most impressed about with you, Mark, is that I saw over I only looked back 3 years. I didn't go back that far, but I went back like 3 years, and you have been like donating food and donating money and donating haircuts. And I think that everybody can give, and even in a little way. So I want to start with you, and then I want to get some advice from you about how can other small businesses give. So what might be a way that our community can be a champion for Homes for the Brave?
Well, here's, we have life skills workshops every Thursday afternoon at our men's house. Our women have them as well. Mm-hmm. And so those rotate between nutrition, wellness, daily living skills, and financial literacy. So we even have some local folks from banks and credit unions come in and do the financial literacy piece. I've even come out of retirement and done a couple. And, and this is important because our veterans need that when they're now living on their own. They have their own, whether a studio apartment or and this helps them, okay? Nutrition. We now have the University of Bridgeport nurses are going to be doing nutrition workshops. Mm-hmm. And again, healthy eating, healthy lifestyles are so critically important to all of that. And there's folks out there that have all kinds of other talents that could come in and do workshops and say, here's my talent, and we can learn how to do this or that. We have a wonderful chiropractor that's a graduate of the University of Bridgeport School of Chiropractic, and he's come and done on self-care and how to stretch and how to, and use the spoons and so forth. So that's important. Yeah, the spoon where they can then, this area is sore, and then he's got like a,
I won't be fresh.
I've gotten it done.
Yeah.
He's telling the truth.
I've never even heard of that. So, Vin, I love that. And on the website, could you give us the website for Homes for the Brave so people can?
www.homesforthebrave.org. And of course, we have events throughout the year. Okay, everything from our Step Up for the Brave that just happened on August 17th. We'll have a 5K on Veterans Day itself out of Sherwood Island. That's in the planning stages right now. We have a mini golf tournament.
Don't go too far because I've got your slides.
Right.
I got some slides for you.
Right. And in March, we'll have a comedy night that's only U.S. professional comics that are U.S. military veterans.
Oh, that is amazing.
And they are just, it's spectacular. It's a terrific show.
Honey, we got to go to that.
The mini golf
and we'll do that at Visano's.
I don't know about mini golf, but.
We'll do that at Visano's Four Seasons. And Johnny Vaz, by the way, is our chairman of the board. Okay, he's been our caterer since 2016. He joined our board in 2018. He's been our chairman of the board since July 1 of 23 and does a lot for the veterans in our programs. Just so much that no one even knows about.
So if you have something to share and you want to help out a veteran in any way, make sure that you're contacting Vince Santilli and Homes for the Brave. So Mark, tell me about just when you got involved, what is some advice that you would give a small business like you that wants to give but doesn't know how to maybe get started?
So I have to thank Vince again because he gave me the opportunity to do what this is today. But I would say for a small business, there's something for everyone. Even I have to thank my clients as well because none of this would actually be possible with the donations without them because they're the ones donating. I'm just the one that has the shop. They're the ones that are bringing everything in. And
but somebody's got to lead it.
Somebody has to lead it, and I don't like taking the credit or anything because I like to just pass it along quietly. But there's always a way for everybody to make a difference, and whether it's with veterans or anybody in life. But I think that especially with the veterans, the best way to donate. Vince does a great job of promoting all of the great events that they have and everything. But the donation list is great. I'd say So the donation list is something that the Homes for the Brave puts out every year that says we need bedding, we need socks, we need that, right?
It's called a wish list, and it's always on our website, by the way, and we update it periodically because all of a sudden we might say, oh, we need socks, and next thing you know, we get enough socks for 10 years, and so now we don't need socks.
Don't be bad about that.
So,
donate it on.
And so we have folks that come in and will follow that, and we'll do drives, whether it be for canned goods, for toiletries, because we go through some of those we provide all the toiletries to our men and women. Okay, the clothing, the food, we feed them, and the toiletries we go through like wildfire. Shampoo, shaving cream, this, that.
Especially if you have people coming and going, right, that need it again.
And it's important to note, by the way, Mark, when he was playing baseball at University of Bridgeport, we set up, as you mentioned, you set up that laundry room, and we try to make it look like a barber shop. And and he's just great with the guys.
I love it.
And now he opened that shop first in Shelton, and now the one in Stratford. And we have guys that come back from that haircut day, which is always on a Wednesday, and they'll say, you know what, I was stationed all over the country and here, that's the nicest barbershop I've ever been in. And he just has a great way of chatting with the guys and there's sports memorabilia in there, so the guys feel like $1 million when they come back.
Absolutely. I could see it from the pictures.
Tomorrow I have someone coming back that doesn't live in the home anymore when that's like the most rewarding for me too, and it's to see them out on their own and doing everything successfully now, it's a great feeling. So he booked his own haircut, not coming with the guys, he's on his own, which is great. And another thing I thought of while we were talking, but as a business owner, I think the best way to successfully help the veterans or anybody is to make sure that you have your priorities straight before you open the business, because the end goal, everybody needs to make money, but if that's your only goal, then you're not going to succeed in business and you're not going to succeed in helping people. And I think the best way to do it is if throughout the whole time you're thinking of the customer and you're thinking of how to help and not yourself the whole time. And it actually it works. It's worked for me. It works for most, but that will lead you to finding a way to help others if you just do the right thing in that sense.
Listen, this show is by far the best part of my week because it's people that I know. Like, I've known Vince forever. His bio is like 2 pages. So you're gonna have to watch his show to like be able to say all about that. But I really wanted to, because first and foremost, I feel like you're a community leader and a friend that stands behind me the times that I've asked you things in the community, things for the vets. With the workplace and with the workplace and how your veterans would participate. And at the end, when they came through a program, it was about helping them find a job. It's really about all of those pieces. And for you, Mark, you said something about, I just keep it under the radar, but you can't. It's not really about saying, look what I'm doing. It's because it inspires others to do the same. And to have an idea and be like, oh, well, there's like 5 stores on this strip. What if we all did? Like, every little bit makes a big contribution. And we've had people on our show that what they do is they collect shoes and give them to kids that don't have new shoes. And, or people that are doing, one lady started a foundation because her daughter OD'd. So it's just, we are such a community of individuals that are just, we're killing it. And I say all the time, it's not what you're looking at, it's what you see. So if you see no good, you're gonna feel no good. If you see good and people doing good and people helping one another, then it's easy to give a smile. It's easy to kind of figure out. So when we were talking about, we can't give back, Mark, if our businesses are not thriving. So I understand that it's a balance. Is there any in growing your business, because the article said that you had learned a lot of lessons. So I would love to hear from you. What are some of those lessons?
Definitely. From moving from, I'd say baby steps is the way to go. Start small, and like we did in Shelton, and do something you can afford, do something you know will work, which I learned in my mom's garage at home. I knew that the business was going to work, and I made sure that the next step, I was financially capable of making the next step before I made it. And once we made that step to Shelton, after a few years, I knew that there was a lot of buzz and a lot of local people that were like, this could be something really good. I believe that it could be something really good because I've been doing it forever, and I'm passionate about it. I found something that I actually love. So, and it's not just the haircutting, because that part, it's like, it's okay. But the more,
it's like second nature to you because you've been doing it so long.
That I just do. The communication with people, and you stay friends with people and you become friends with people that you wouldn't have the opportunity to if you did another job where you might not be seeing people every day, where I see as 14 to 15 people a day. So it's just something that makes it a lot easier to enjoy my job. But I'd say baby steps is definitely the way to go until you know, and you could feel it, just like how you could feel when you want to be able to help out someone.
It's
like
bigger
how
than
I
you
feel.
almost.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you could feel it, and trust your instincts. Trust your instincts. That's what
I don't want to close, Mark, without you sharing the story of how you gave haircuts at school, and that's how you guys had like under bleachers or something. Tell me. I'm sure that I don't have whole facts, but I thought that was such a great story because, youth that have some kind of talent, like they take pictures or they're good at this or they're good at that, it really helps. I tell the story.
I mean, I wasn't cutting hair on any bleachers, but how I started was one of Johnny Visano's nephews, my neighbor. He's one of my best friends, and he came over one day and asked me to give him a buzz cut because he wanted a haircut. I don't know why he trusted me, but he trusted me. So I cut his hair, and when I was younger, I'd always like messed around doing my own, just seeing what I could do. Not full haircuts, but just messing around, and cut his hair. Then his brother came, then Tom probably came, and then soon enough, I had in my garage after school, I lived right behind my high school, St. Joe's.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so after school, everybody would meet at my house basically, and I would cut hair for 4 hours, and they'd play basketball on my driveway. And then soon enough, I was cutting my football team, basketball team, baseball team, and we would have. I mean, there was probably 10 kids at my house hanging out, and everybody. It was just a hangout spot, and it was a barbershop in a garage, but
by a pier.
Yes, by a pier. Yes.
A lot of us have these talents that we're not embracing as a young person, that we're like, but that's not my job. And you were able to turn that passion that you were good at because you were doing it with your mom.
Luckily, yes.
And it turned into something. So we're wrapping up already. Can you believe it? It's almost, we're almost done. So Vince, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to give me any last thoughts.
If folks haven't been to Homes for the Brave, they've got to come by. We are now expanding. We're putting a new wing in there. We installed an elevator in our building, which is so many of our veterans have mobility issues. So if you go there behind that building off of Garden Street, you just won't believe what you're seeing. And this is something really, there will be nothing like this in the state of Connecticut for our veterans experiencing homelessness. And by the way, Connecticut is ranked last in the country in the way as a state. In a study that was done nationally, they ranked every state. Connecticut is number 50. So thank God there are organizations like Homes for the Brave to serve these men and women.
Mark, any last thoughts?
I would say, if there's anything you could do to help Homes for the Brave or any organization, you should take initiative and do it, because doing the right thing will help you out. Long term, you'll feel better, and it's our duty to help each other as citizens, and definitely help Homes for the Brave. That's all I got.
Thank you. So last things up on the screen is some of the events that were coming up. The conversation was just so amazing, and we're running out of time. We invite you back to meet with us next week, where we interview more amazing people. If you know someone that you think would be great for the show, make sure that you write on in. Thank you, and we'll see you next week. Connecticut at your service.